Oh, what's up guys, welcome back to a new video on Junji Ito's No Longer Human. I'm East Coast Manga, so let's get right into it. So this is going to be a review slash kind of recommendation because I do think you should try this out and read it for yourself. But I'm not going to include any spoilers and I'm not going to get into too many details with this manga. I just think that everyone should experience it with having very little knowledge on the story. I really do think that is the best way to read this. So this will definitely be one of the most disturbing stories that you have ever read. Like I said, it's not shock value in terms of like monsters and demons and like all that kind of stuff. It's really just dealing with the human psyche in a way that most manga, if any, just don't portray. This manga was an adaptation from Osamu Dazai. He wrote the original novel, No Longer Human, finished in about 1948 and then killed himself a month later. So super dark and just very ominous story, and just an ominous background surrounding this story. A lot of people think it was kind of his suicide letter, in a sense of like everything in this kind of portrays how he was fighting throughout his own life, trying to figure out what it means to be human and just never really understanding. Now, Usamaru Furuya, I apologize if I pronounced his last name wrong, he was the first one to do a manga adaptation, but it's super expensive and super out of print. But I'm not going to be comparing these here. I'm mostly just going to talk about Junji Ito's, and I'm going to recommend that because you can buy that right now on basically any place that sells manga. It's a Viz Media. They just released it in like December. Whereas Usamaru's is extremely hard to find. Even if you're looking for like a scanned version, it's very difficult. So without getting into spoilers, like I've been mentioning, the story revolves around Yozo, and it starts out his childhood. Junji Ito starts him a little younger, so probably like middle school aged. And it kind of just develops throughout his entire life, the entire story. And it is just so disturbing, to the point where, you know, some people, I'm not even sure if they would be able to finish it. Not because I think it's like gruesome or gory or anything like that, but it's so psychologically dark. When Usamaru's version came out, there was people who were like scarred from the ending of that. And if you've read that, I think you know exactly what I mean. And really, when it comes to horror, Junji Ito just has the like it factor. Like he does it, he knows it, and he portrayed it as perfect as he could in this story. Do I think there's a couple things that Usamaru did a little better? Yes. But do I think there's probably a bunch of things that Junji Ito did better? Yes. I mean, honestly, I would show you guys some pages of this, but I really don't want to spoil anything, and I would love for you guys to just get into this fresh, like I've been saying. Retail can be a little expensive because it's like an awesome Viz hardcover, and it's like a super quality one too. I've had no issues with this. But you can always get it for cheaper on Amazon, or, you know, probably Right Stuff or any other places that sell them for a discount. And I don't know if I've mentioned this yet, but if you guys want me to do a future video basically comparing this one to Usamaru's, I will. And that one's probably going to include spoilers. It's just no way around that. Whether or not you're into horror manga, I think this is an absolute, like, I think you should totally get it for your collection. Even if you like read it once and never want to go back to it. Personally, I think the reason is that you won't hate it. I think it's just, it's a very disturbing and, like I've been saying, psychological just horror show in what it means to be human, especially in Yozo's life. There's also so many like characters in this book where it's like you hate them, but you also feel bad for them, and some of them you may even end up liking, and then hating, or hating and then liking. And that includes Yozo. I mean, it's just an absolute roller coaster with his character, because it comes to the matter of like you see what happens to him, but then you also see like what he does, and it's just a horrible combination of everything. So if you haven't picked this up yet and you're looking for a review and recommendation, I totally recommend picking this up, and don't just leave it on your shelf to read later. And if you already own this, what are you waiting for? Read it. It's a one-shot. Get it done. And I'm telling you, it is going to hold a place on your shelf, a certain spot. And honestly, I don't even know what else to say. This has been East Coast Manga, and I will see you guys later.